Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom, Shalom. All right, this is your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Come with a quick lesson through the Spirit. Lord, want us to be edifying until the Lord's elect. All right, before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Yahawadah. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. All right, I'm gonna try and make this quick. Because I got to head to the plantation, right, real quick. So, I just wanted to do a response to this brother who left a comment in the who left a comment from my previous lesson dealing with Yahawah and Yahawashi are names of power. All right, and he asked, and it's a very good question. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad he asked it. There could be multiple lessons that can be had or that can be made out of this one question. Multiple lessons can be made from this one question. That's what I meant to say. But he said if King James was a Hebrew and translated the scriptures, why did he translate Yahawashi to Jesus? This is an honest question now, and I believe it is. A couple things. First of all, when you mention Hebrew, when you mention whether or not someone is Hebrew, it's important to specify exactly what you mean. All right, because there are many races on this planet that are Hebrews. All right, there are many nationalities on this planet that are Hebrews. The so-called Moabite. You know what I'm saying? Slaki, the Moabite, the so-called Chinese. All right, South and North Koreans are Hebrews. The so-called Ammonites, which are Japanese, they're Hebrews. The Ishmaelites, who are Arabs, they're Hebrews. You see what I'm saying? The Edomites, the so-called white people, you know what I'm saying? They're Hebrews as well. You know what I'm saying? So there are many people on this planet, many nationalities that are actually Hebrew. Okay? And I gotta watch my time. So of course we're gonna assume that you mean an Israelite, an Hebrew Israelite. All right. So yes, King James was indeed an Hebrew Israelite. Let's go to an image real quick. All right. So this is one of the original images of King James the First of England and the Sixth of Scotland. All right, and yes, he had a number of children. All right, he had 9 children, 2 of which grew up into adulthood. The rest died at very young ages. All right, 2 of which were in their very their child stages, and I believe it was 5 of them that actually died in infancy. So yeah, man. And then of course, if you know about history, you know about King Charles the First, which was the only son of his who assumed the throne, and he died a very horrible death. You know what I'm saying, through decapitation during the Civil War, which was conducted by Oliver Cromwell. All right, so let's see. So you asked the question if he translated the Hebrew, all right, into modern English, because that's what it was, right? There was a commission in the year 1604, all right, the year 1604, and he commissioned roughly 50 plus scholars. I think it was like 54 scholars in the 6 sections for the course of cross-examination in order to make sure that that the Bible could be translated into English. All right, and that's the point. The point to make here is that the Bible was being translated to English. All right. Now, when you say that he translated Yahawashi to Jesus, all right, that's not exact. That's not completely accurate because he didn't use the letter J in the Old English at that time. All right. So when you go into the Greek for that word in Jesus, right? For that word with Jesus, right? The actual Greek word is Jesus. All right. So let me get this real quick. All right, bear with me. All right, so this is this is Luke chapter 23, and we're gonna start at verse 36. All right, it says, "And the soldiers also mocked him, coming to him and offering him vinegar, and saying, If thou be the king of the Jews, save thyself. And a superscription also was written over him in letters of Greek and Latin and Hebrew, saying, This is the King of the Jews." All right. So that gives you an understanding that not only were people speaking Hebrew and Greek in that time, you know what I'm saying, but they was also speaking Latin. All right. So you got to go into the understanding as to why King James had translated the Bible in the first place, because King James himself was multilingual. All right, he was able to speak Latin, Greek, French, you know what I'm saying, many others, including Hebrew, which was most important. All right, and he oversaw this commission, you know what I'm saying, and like I said, it started the project started in 1604 and ended in 1611, right? Which is why if you want the best version of King James, you know what I'm saying, you would typically go to the 1611 King James Bible, all right, because it also compiled the 14 books that was included as well, you know what I'm saying, before they was taken out, and are now called the Apocrypha books, all right. But I believe this whole thing lasted for about 7 years. And so when it was finally published, all right, it was able to be distributed to the public. Okay, so the people, which is going back to the reason why he did this in the first place, the reason why is because the people wasn't able to read Latin. All right, the people weren't able to read Latin. They were English. They wrote, they read English and shit like that, right? And so what happened with the quote unquote clergy in the church, they was able to monopolize off of that. They was able to monopolize off of the fact that they knew Latin and the rest of the public didn't know Latin and knew English. Okay? And that caused a divide, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because people didn't want to be extorted, and people didn't want to they didn't want to be, misled through the leadership of the church, which was corrupted. All right. So so King James had decided to go through with this. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't fair that he himself was able to read it and understand it for himself. You see what I'm saying? And which it would be very interesting if I, to know exactly who he was in the reincarnation. All right. So yeah, going to the fact that he had it translated from Yahawashi to not Jesus, but Jesus. All right. To answer the question in the spiritual sense, all right, in the spiritual sense, because in the physical sense, of course, he was translating it from the Hebrew to the English. All right, we understand that. Okay, that's in the normal carnal sense. Okay, he was trying to solve this problem, and he solved it. Right now, in the spiritual aspect, why didn't he do that? In the spiritual aspect, the reason why is because it wasn't time for that. Simple as that. It just wasn't time. You know what I'm saying? Take for example, Nat Turner, right? Nat Turner understood that we are the Israelites. He understood that. All right? He learned that. But was it time? You see what I'm saying? Because he caused an uprising, this and that, you know what I'm saying? And although it was a righteous thing that was done, it came to naught because it wasn't time for that to happen. You see what I'm saying? The Great Awakening wasn't set forth at that time. Right? So here we are. Let's go to Ezekiel. All right, Ezekiel chapter 37. And let's get verse let's get verse 1. It says, "The hand of the Lord was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones." All right, and that valley would be here in America today. This is that valley of death. You see what I'm saying? Verse 2, "And caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry." All right, and that's the state that we, the Israelites, have been in for all these years. Okay, for all these centuries. Verse 3, "And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord power, thou knowest. Again he said unto me, Prophesy unto these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yahawah." All right, and that's representing of the prophets. The prophets were supposed to come in at this very specific time. All right, and now it would become the point of where the Israelites would be given the complete names. The Israelites would be given the complete understanding. Right? Check this out. Behold, thus said the Lord power unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am Yahawah. All right. So, not to make this too long, but the simple point of the matter was that it was at a specific time that this needed to happen, not during the time of King James. All right. Not during the time of Nat Turner. See, let's go to Habakkuk. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2. It says, "And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it." All right, and here we are. We're running now that we have read it. You know what I'm saying? And we are we're here to prophesy unto you, the rest of the elect. You see, the rest of the hopeful elect. You see what I'm saying? So that the elect can be sealed. Verse 3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time." You see what I'm saying? For the vision, the prophecy is set for an appointed time. "But at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." You see what I'm saying? It's set for an appointed time, and this is that appointed time. This is why you're hearing the names Yahawah and Yahawashi. This is why. Right? Let's go to Malachi real quick. Okay, Malachi chapter, let me get chapter 1. Malachi chapter 1, verse 14, it says, "But cursed be the deceiver, which hath in his flock a male, and voweth and sacrificeth unto the Lord a corrupt thing." Okay, and that's what you're seeing amongst these many camps. You see what I'm saying? These many camps that refuse to teach you the names, such as IUIC. These many camps that call on Christ instead of Yahawashi. They call on Yeshua. They call on Yehoshua. They call on Yeshaya. You see what I'm saying? Ahaya. All these different names instead of the correct name. All right. So you got these bones that have gathered They have gathered sinew, they've gathered flesh. All right, but without those correct names, you're not going to gather the breath, which is the wisdom. All right. It says, "For I am a great king, saith the Lord of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen." All right, and these people are in the stead of heathens at this point. You see what I'm saying? That's why they can't speak this name. You see? And I'm going to end this off in the book of Malachi. Okay, Malachi chapter 4, verse 5. It says, "Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord Yahawah. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse." You see what I'm saying? And that was prophesied, and it came to pass. You see what I'm saying? Through the elder Abba. All right. The fact that you many Israelites know that you're Israelites. All right. It began first with Elder Abba. You see? And he was Elijah, which we believe was Elijah in the reincarnation. All right. And he turned the heart of the fathers to the sons, and the hearts of the sons to the fathers. You see what I'm saying? And now, in these last days, as the scriptures say, they shall remember the ways of their fathers. You see what I'm saying? So I hope this this quick one, was edifying and it answered your question. All right. But I'm going to cut that there. I pray this lesson was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. It's been your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. In closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem HaHakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.